Man, I wish you would, no, you wish you could. I'ma get you good, better bring your shotty. I got a gang of poppies, and it ain't no hobby. I be on it all night, man, I be on it all day. Straight up pimp, if you want me, you won't find me, I'm MIA. I'm sick with the fever, just give me some Viva, I'll be okay. Hit the stick of that reefer, yo, sister don't need the B. Look at my way, they call me Mr. Crack. I'm a diplomat, but I don't dip the set, I grip the mat. You a threat, oh yeah, play, picture that. Matter of fact, picture this, I'ma get you back. Bet that click, clack, with your body gonna get back. Hit that crack, shoulder when I hit that. Put that E-Pro, and sit back, now hit that beat up, forget that. Beat up, ready, yeah, I'm for that. Roll back, roll red, no in that. I say you know, jump in that. Let's go, let's get that.
To the Lipfuse Hip-Hop Literary Salon at the Philadelphia Book Festival here at the Philadelphia Free Library, Parkway Central Branch. Today we've got a day long of guest panelists and speakers that will be speaking with the audience, and also we'll be sticking around for a few extra minutes for some extra Q&A. The Lipfuse Hip-Hop Literary Salon is really created to encourage literacy through hip-hop cultural studies, as well as raise awareness about the fourth grade failure syndrome. And I just like to start off with a few opening remarks. It is no secret that black men are disproportionately uneducated, unemployed, and incarcerated. Statistics say that a 6-year-old black boy has a 1 in 3 chance of going to prison in his lifetime, and the unemployment rate among young black men is 40%. To understand the issues affecting black men, we have to understand the life experiences of black boys, which shape the attitudes and behaviors of black men. These statistics say one thing to me: black men are becoming more and more disconnected from society each day. Where does this start? How can we prevent this? It is a preventable phenomenon. Is it a preventable phenomenon? The author of Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys tried to explain this phenomenon by performing a longitudinal study of test scores, general attitude towards school, and self-image in a group of 80 boys, all in the same school and all in the same class. What he found was alarming. Through first grade, the black boys in the study expressed positive feelings about themselves in school. These feelings make a shift for the worse in the second grade and fifth grade, and by the fifth grade, the boys are outright cynical about the schooling process, and their sense of self has degraded correspondingly. This shift in attitude correlates with a shift in performance. The author refers to this drop in enthusiasm in academic performance as fourth grade failure syndrome, the poor transition boys make between primary and the intermediate division. The causes can be identified as teachers not understanding quote-unquote black male culture, which leads to boys feeling as if they are marginalized in class, that they exist outside of the culture of the classroom. The teachers in the study became less encouraging academically and more inclined to pushing black boys disproportionately toward athletics. This is reinforced by the media and the fact that black boys have limited access to positive images of black men. Second through fifth grade is a crucial time in any of our lives. We are building ideas of self at this time while trying to reconcile the different ways that people view us. If teachers positively reinforce athletic achievement in black males more than academic achievement, and the idea that academic achievement being akin to acting white among black school children, then we have a confluence of pressure from teachers and peers to find success outside of the school books at an early age. To achieve academically, this is then to reconfigure ideas of self that are not consistent with those that society tends to impose on black males. By the time young black men enter the intermediate stage of their schooling, they are left confused by notions of success and have constructed negative images of self. And if you ask me, that is the real fourth grade failure syndrome. The fact that black boys enter the school syndrome on par with their peers shows that there are no at-risk kids, just at-risk situations. If we can remedy the situations, then perhaps we can take a step toward improving the current condition of black men. And that, we're going to get underway with our first panel of speakers for the day. Starting from my left to right, we have Normbine. He is with the National Association of Market Developers. Also does some work with OIC. Could you just tell me what that stands for one more time?
Thank you. OIC is Opportunities Industrialization Center of America, and it was founded by Reverend Dr. Leon Sullivan back in 1964, and it focuses on helping people help themselves. And they were the group that built Progress Plaza at Broad and Jefferson, which was the first black-owned and operated shopping plaza in the country.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Miss Janet M. Taylor. Basically, she's a professional organizer, and she's going to tell you much more about what she does. And this is CHERI Honkala. CHERI Honkala, and she is running for office here in the city of Philadelphia for the sheriffs of, your program is Zero Evictions, and that's her platform and that's her initiative. And each of them are going to go into detail now. We're going to start with Norm, then with Janet, and then Sherry's going to finish up.
My name is Normbine. Basically what I do is I work in marketing and promotions. My website is normbine.com, and for about 20 years I've been a marketer, marketed a number of different things here in Philadelphia. I did the Call to Action 10,000 Men event in 2007, where we brought 10,000 black men out to the Leopold Center to address senseless violence. I'm also national president of NAMD, National Alliance of Market Developers, and as was mentioned, I'm also now working with OIC of America, which we just started an effort to raise $10 million as an endowment, which would then lead to $100 million, which will help us to create something we're calling the entrepreneurial mindset, which is designed around helping better support and create more entrepreneurs within the black community. We see that as a way to lower the unemployment and the underemployment within the black community, giving more people access to jobs and also marketable skills. So I'm also very involved in social media, on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I do some work with the African American Chamber of Commerce. And for over 20 years I've been marketing. I've worked with Business Week Magazine, Inc., and also have done some work with the Enterprise Center. So my main focus is marketing, helping people to get the word out, get the message out, and that's what I do today, and look forward to sharing some information around literacy and around this whole fourth-way failure syndrome, which I'm familiar with. Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu, I read his book back in the 90s, and I know that, and I've heard him speak, and I definitely support the need for increased literacy. Lastly, I was a member of they used to do the reading clubs, during the summer, and I remember, as a youth, participating in like the summer vacation reading clubs through the library, and I think that was, definitely an important part of fueling my own need to read and be involved academically. So I'm going to pass it through my good friend Janet Taylor, Totally Organized.
Good morning. My name is Janet Taylor of Totally Organized. I am a professional organizer, and basically I help people organize their homes, their offices, and their lives. In the home, I do closets, I do basements, I do kitchens, I do attics, and in the office, I help people create an effective and efficient workspace. And in relation to this event today, it's key for us to really have an organized environment in regarding to our books, our reading material, not only in the home but in the office, because in the home it will help not only our family but our children be able to access information and improve their reading skills, but also by being organized in the home, it just instills those skills within the children. In the office, it helps us be more effective and efficient because it will help us stay on top and have that competitive edge when we need to access those resources in order to be competitive with our customers, with our future clients, just be able to really be a resource to them as well. As I stated, I've been doing this for about 16 years, and I'm also the author of a book titled 101 Secrets to Living an Organized Life. And the reason I wrote that book is because I wanted to provide a resource for people so that they could have tips, 1, 2, 3 tips that they could use instantaneously in order to be more organized. Because I find sometimes with just trying to be organized, managing your time, managing your home, and managing your life, the project in and of itself gets overwhelming. And I wanted to create a tip a day, a tip a week, a tip a month that people can just grab hold of and implement. For example, something getting as simple as getting a hook for your keys will help you save time and frustration from just trying to find those keys in the morning or when you're running out the door, or something as simple as just planning your day the night before so that if you got to pack your bag, pack your book bag, or just prepare for the next day, that you can wake up the next day focused on what you have to do and not waste time just going around and looking for things that you need for that day in order to accomplish your task. So I just hope that, I can share some information that will really help not only the people who may have books, but also the people who are creative and writing books, be able to create an environment that's not chaotic, but will allow them to be that creative person that they want to be.
I'm happy to be here in this freezing weather. My name is CHERI Honkala, and I'm running for Philadelphia Sheriff. People would be surprised at that generally because I've been arrested over 200 times fighting for the basic necessities of life. But I'm doing it because Philadelphia has a scandalous situation where there's $53 million that are missing from the Sheriff's Department. And I'm running on a zero evictions platform where I'm refusing to throw any family out until the economy gets better in Philadelphia. I look at the issue of foreclosures and throwing families off the streets as an archaic issue. It's back in the day, and it's 2011, and we have more abandoned properties than we have homeless families, and we need to figure out how to put those two things together. Music and reading and art and culture are integral to the work that I've been doing for the last 25 years. Some people might know me from organizing the largest poor people's marches in the country, as well as taking over abandoned houses, housing families, teaching people how to build community farms or gardens. I'm a part of the Take Back the Vacant Land movement right now. And we're teaching our kids to be involved in all of this because we have a responsibility to pass on the legacy of many great leaders that have lived before us. And at a time when the Philadelphia, our governor is proposing cuts in the schools, it's an important time right now for us to do whatever we possibly can to raise our children, raise the next generation, pass on the right kind of messages. And so we have a Read Every Day program for our kids. We do all of this not on the basis of compensation, but on the basis of commitment to a different kind of world for all of us to live in. I have an office that's opened up now on Market Street, 918 Market Street. We're looking for as many supporters as possible. People are holding house parties across the country because they're uniting with this idea that it's time for us to think outside of the box. It's time for us to get our youth involved, and it's time for us to put forward solutions. So I'm real happy to be here today. Check out my website at CHERIHONKALA.com.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Herbert Hall, and I wear a couple different hats. In particular, I am what's called the HipHop Curator for Art Sanctuary. Art Sanctuary is a community-based organization up in North Philadelphia, based out of the Church of the Advocate. a major player in the Black arts movement, the Black cultural movement of Philadelphia. And in addition to my work with Art Sanctuary, I also am I'm an instructor and a doctoral candidate at Temple University in a program of urban education where my research centers on something called hip-hop based education. What is hip-hop based education? Hip-hop based education is using the cultural products of hip-hop in the classroom to increase student motivation, to transmit disciplinary knowledge, and to help foster critical consciousness amongst our youth. And with Art Sanctuary, most recently, just this past week, we did a partnership with Russell Simmons' Deaf Poetry Slam, where I created a curriculum guide to help teachers from around the area to build on students' funds of knowledge of hip hop, help them to analyze, compose, and perform spoken word poetry in an effort to increase students' academic and critical literacies. This curriculum guide is available to the public and is particularly tailored to secondary students 6 to 12, and it's available at artsanctuary.org for your viewing and teaching pleasure. In addition to the curriculum guide, I also do professional development workshops for teachers on how to incorporate hip-hop into their curriculum and instruction. And when I'm talking about when I say hip-hop based education, I think about it, I describe it as the 4 cornerstones. What are the 4 cornerstones? That are the origins, the structural and cultural history of hip-hop. We're talking about the aesthetics, right? The methodology, the ways of doing, battling, freestyling, ciphering, and whatnot. We're also talking about literacies. We're talking about how to read the word of hip-hop as well as the world from which that word is constructed. And finally, pedagogies. What is pedagogy? That's a fancy academic ivory tower term for the art and science of teaching and learning. And specifically, my specialty is in pedagogies with, about, and of hip-hop. That is teaching with hip-hop texts. That's using hip-hop texts to teach about hip-hop. And then finally, the pedagogies of hip-hop in terms of the politics or the cultural politics of hip-hop, in terms of how an anti-institutional, in many ways was seen as an anti-institutional culture, how it interacts within so-called these institutions. In addition to that, I just completed my dissertation, or I'm in the process of writing my dissertation. I completed my research in a local urban school district that an ethnographic study of 4 secondary English teachers and the different ways they incorporated hip-hop into their classrooms. And in terms of these teachers using hip-hop, one of them would be considered only one of them would be considered a hip-hop head, or what I call a hip-hop pedagogue, a 25-year-old brother from the area. Again, he is not reflective of the teaching population or the teaching workforce. So I had other opportunities to observe 40-something females in a different way they identified with hip-hop and the different rates of effectiveness they have in using it. Some of the things I saw, for example, a young 26-year-old white teacher from California in this area, he used a lesson in a unit on what is the purpose of education. He used KRS-One BDP's You Must Learn to teach Aristotle's 3 rhetorical devices of ethos, logos, and pathos. All right. One teacher, Miss Brown, she used did a unit on discovering figurative language through hip hop. I mean, everything from Common to Lupe to even Soulja Boy. What else do we see? I saw a unit on called the Harlem Renaissance, where teachers were making connections between the Black arts movement of Harlem in the 1920s and making comparisons and contrasts versus the social environment of today. So what am I about? I'm about taking what students are bringing into the classroom, right? I am hip-hop. I bring hip-hop with me into the classroom. These young people today are bringing hip-hop into the class with them, whether we want to acknowledge it, whether we appreciate it, or not. And as an adult, as an educator, I believe we need to, anything and everything we do in the classroom starts with them. And that's why I'm here, and I think that's why a lot of people are here as well, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have some questions. Based on what anybody's heard out here, anybody have any questions for the panelists? Go ahead, sir. Yeah. What is your name?
My name is Aaron Kahn, and I work in a school in North Philly.
Oh, hold on for 1 second. Hold on. Showing you. Hold on for 1 second. Just step up.
Hi, how are you? I'm Aaron Kahn. I work in a school in North Philly. I'm a social worker. Same to you. It's great to have you. I've been in schools for 10 years in Queens and now in North Philly in New York. And I'm amazed at how the educators are not right on what you're talking about. The kids have so much to bring, but we're trying to teach at them, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, no, it doesn't work. I don't think it does. Do you have any idea how to impact the greater system that is kind of running the kids down?
Well, I have a lot of ideas, right? I have probably more ideas on what is behind the resistance, right? Especially when you're talking about hip-hop from the outside. In many ways, the first thing to come to mind, we mean hip-hop-based education is almost seen as an oxymoron, right? The notion that hip-hop in and of itself is, in some ways, seen as anti-intellectual, right? So that is one obstacle that needs to be overcome, right? The second is what the politics and the rhetoric of today, right, is deeming as the purpose of education, right? And it's in many ways, one size fits all approach. Yes, there are very real economic concerns about the global marketplace, but one glance at any and all literature on what works for African American students, like, will tell you that it has to start with cultural and with building cultural consciousness and building critical awareness, right, of this world where, in the state of Pennsylvania, we find it necessary or political expedient or acceptable to invest more in prisons than we do in schools, and for that to be the discourse of the state, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, right? So, for me, it begins with a fundamental reassessment of how we think about the function of school, right? From there, it goes to institutions like Temple and Pennsylvania University and Penn, who claim to be a part of this community, yet are preparing these teachers as if they're going to Bucks County, right? And I understand that it's not lowering expectations to prepare a teacher to work in North Philadelphia a little bit differently than we would to prepare them from Lower Merion, right? When I'm sick and my foot hurts, I don't go to the dentist, right? I go to the podiatrist, right? So why wouldn't we teach our teachers with that same type of concentration and focus? Of course, our mere mentioning of this is described as radical, it's described as communist, it's described as socialist. I really don't give a damn what you label it, as long as we're changing what we're doing with our kids.
Hi, Phoebe, how are you? Any further questions from the audience? I have a question for each of you. I'm going to start with you, Norman. Since, considering all your backgrounds, as a marketer, organizer, someone active in political circles, and a teacher, what is it, as far as, you all spoke on the 4th grade failure syndrome and what, your literacy initiatives are and things like that, but, how about if you could leave some kind of website information or contact information for viewers to, to contact you and speak with you further? If you can just start with you, Norman, and then we'll go down the line. Can you pass it? Oh, wait a minute. Turn the mic on. Silver.
Okay. In terms of website information, my website is www.normbine.com, NORMBOND.com. That's my primary website, and from there you'll find connections to a number of other websites that I work with, that I promote, also videos, links, information. I think the thing that is great about today is that information is so available. Certainly using the internet is a great option, as well as mobile phones now. There's a lot of access to information, a lot of access to resources that, and a lot of ways to connect across the country, as we've heard mentioned earlier, and even around the globe. And a lot of marketing that I do, one marketing tip that I will offer is to be very targeted, and so that you can go on to even something as simple as a Google, put inside quotation marks your particular area of interest, and you'll get lots of websites as well as user groups. And be able to connect with people. And this is a time, I think, of sharing information and connecting. And, so I would encourage people to go, check out the website. And from there, all of my contact information is on the site.
Okay. Janet?
Yes.
I can't Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, give the viewers some information how they can contact you and,
Okay. They can contact me at www.janetmtaylor.com.
Okay. And what's the title of your book one more time?
101 Secrets to Living an Organized Life, which can be purchased through the website.
Okay, just specifically on your website. Okay, great. All right. Cheri?
Well, earlier I gave CHERIHONKALA.com, but if people want to tap into the artists that we work with, we have probably over 200 affiliate artists, and the list is just growing every day. It's artfeedsus.com, and it's anywhere from spoken word artists to poets to all across the entire country, and we want to encourage people to step forward and affiliate with this movement to end poverty, hunger, and homelessness. Another website that's an affiliate of ours is the HipHop Congress, and so people can get on and the HipHop Congress, contact Shamako Noble. If you're interested in setting up a HipHop Congress chapter in your part of the country, just contact Shamako and he'll make it happen.
You can find me directly at hbhall@temple.edu. I'm also all over at Facebook, Bernard Hall. And the curriculum guide, again, is called From Poets to Prophets. You can find that on Art Sanctuary at www.artsanctuary.org. We have that curriculum guide. I have another one called Do the Knowledge. Hip Hop 101 curriculum guide is also available for free download, so please print it out and share it. If you're interested in some of the research that I spoke about, me and my brother Dakota Irby, you can find our recent article that got published in Urban Education. That's a major journal produced out of Howard University. If you Google Irby, I-R-B-Y, and Hall, the article is called Fresh Faces, New Places, Moving Beyond Teacher Researchers' Accounts of Hip-Hop-Based Education. And again, that's available online anywhere. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, panel. This concludes our first panel here at the Philadelphia Book Festival 2011. I appreciate all of you taking time out of your busy schedules, and I'll definitely be in touch. Thank you so much. Welcome to our second panel at the Fuse Hip Hop Literary Salon here at the Philadelphia Book Festival. We have a distinguished panel with us. We're going to start off. This is our hip hop panel. I mean, all day the panels are hip hop, but we have different concentration. Today we have Jimmy DASAINT, founder of I.C.H, Inner City Hustlers, as well as the publisher of Urban Celebrity Magazine and DASAINT Entertainment, and also he is named the new #1 street author in the country. He published 2 books, well, more than 2 books, but 2 notable ones that stand out is Black Scarface 1 and 2, written with Freeway Ricky Ross. Not the rapper, but the real dude. Nothing against Rick Rose, we love Rick. But I'm honored to have him here. Next we have Isaac M. Ham of ImFreeMedia, who is doing phenomenal work in the city of Philadelphia as far as marketing and branding. He also is the creative producer and founder of The Comeback, Philly Style, and that is Philadelphia's official annual Black Music Month event, which pays tribute to soul artists, soul legends of Philadelphia. Last year we had the first one honoring Deanna Williams, who is one of the co-founders of Black Music Month. So this is actually an official event, and he'll speak on that further. Our next panelist we have is Philadelphia hip-hop legend P.D. Crack. Oh my God. The man really needs a introduction, but I am very honored to have him here. And he is a wealth of knowledge, and he's going to be, he's always blessed the city. He's done us very proud. We have Miss Shelly Shell of Urban Expressions, producer of Urban Expressions, the city's and possibly one of the nation's longest running hip-hop video shows. I mean, like, they were around before, well, you guys were around before Yo MTV Raps, or right around that time. Even, I mean, lasting longer, and they're still going. It's not like it was something that ran for a long time and it's over. It still continues to go. And for all the, I don't think there's anybody you guys haven't interviewed, is there? I've been saying it in Billboard the whole line, but they can do a much better job speaking about themselves. So without further ado, we're going to get started with P.D. Craig, and then we have Jimmy DASAINT. We're going a little bit out of order, but they have busy schedules. Okay. Jimmy, I know you have something coming up, so you want to start it off? Okay.
One, two. Yeah. I'm Jimmy DASAINT. I just want everybody to know I got a new magazine coming out, Urban Celebrity Magazine. Sonya is the editor-in-chief of the magazine. And I'm out here doing my thing. I got a little artist named Young Savage. Young Savage right here. He's my little artist right now. He should be signing a deal with Sony in the next month or so. We're going to have 3 leakers with him. I'm out here doing my thing. And I actually had a #1 selling book right now in the tri-state area. I brought a copy of it. Contract Killer. Just dropped 2 weeks ago. The #1 urban book right down in the tri-state area. Over 2,500 copies sold in 2 weeks. Contract Killer. And but I'm more popular for the one that I wrote with Rick Ross. Like I said, my name is Jimmy DASAINT. I just came home, did 10 years in the feds. You know what I'm saying? While I was in the feds, I became the only federal inmate ever to get a 4-book publishing deal while I was incarcerated. I'm from West Philly. You know what I mean? I've been doing this now. I used to manage Oskino and Sparks. Oskino and Sparks, a lot of people know me for that. Managing Oskino and Sparks in the City Hustlers. I mean, that's my story. Y'all can check me out. You know what I mean? I'm all over the internet. I'm doing what I do. You know what I mean? Repping Philly. Like I said, check out my magazine. Only hip-hop magazine that's really, really officially representing Philly. That's Diamond Cuts, Cassidy, Rain Man, Young Savage. I mean, P.D. gonna be in it. You know what I mean? Like I said, Sonya's the editor-in-chief. If anybody interested in getting in the magazine and whatnot, get with her. But yeah, you know, I'll put on for my city because I love my city. I'm gonna pass this thing to P.D.
All right.
Well done, Jimmy. You broke the ice. All right. I appreciate Shorty for coming out here and letting me know she only came because she heard I was going to be here. You know, I got one fan in the building. And thank you to Sonya, too, for inviting me. I'm sorry I sold you out like 3 times before. Not purposely, but, you know, the schedule was a little crazy. But, yeah, y'all know me as P.D. Crack. We kind of took the crack off and just kept it at P.D. It was P.D., but I think now that I've got so much credibility under my belt, I can just say P.D. and you automatically know that it's P. Crack, so we just thought to just keep it at P.D. But I guess I'm just known from you know, Def Jam and Rockefeller Records and being with one of the biggest hip-hop movements of our time, you know what I mean? As far as working with Jay-Z and Beanie Siegel and State Property, Freeway, Young Guns. And we also moved on to joints with artists like Neo and The Roots. Shout out to The Roots in Philadelphia. We're working with them now on their 4th. I'm on the 4th Roots album. I made my 4th Roots album, which is amazing to me because I never would have thought I'd make it on one Roots album. You know what I mean? That's just amazing to me. But right now, we was talking a little earlier, me and my man, where he go? My man right here, he asked me who was my favorite artist right now, and it was hard to say because back in the day it was a little more easier to just automatically say who your favorite rap artist was, because rap was a little more genuine and more creative, and it was more into your artist. You know what I mean? Like that was your man. Like you didn't have a whole bunch of a whole bunch of artists. The music wasn't so just disposable. You know what I mean? As it is now, it was more serious to you. You know what I mean? Like when I was into let's say like when I was a big Slick Rick fan, I was majorly Slick Ricked out. Like you know what I mean? The whole swag and everything. Like it was a big thing. Nowadays, artists are it's like a throwaway razor. Like music ain't that important. Like CDs aren't cherished no more. Like $5 CDs, you might just throw it in the back of your car. It's no big deal. So I'm focused on us bringing back that originality and that creativity that made it real important for you to feel like, yo, this is my favorite rapper. Because I hear that sometimes from people. They be like, yo, Crack, you my favorite rapper. You know what I mean? And that's important for me to know. You know what I mean? For us to hear. But he asked me who was my favorite rapper now. Who was my favorite rapper then? I told him it was Biggie Smalls. But he asked me who was my favorite rapper now. And I really couldn't tell him. You know what I mean? Because I don't have a favorite rapper. And I love hip-hop. You know what I mean? I love music, period. But it's just hard to pinpoint a favorite artist. You know what I mean? So I told him that right now, from the direction that the game is going in, I couldn't really state who's my favorite rapper off of lyrics. I told him I like Rick Ross because of not particularly just the lyrics, but his overall movement. You know what I mean? I'm just a fan of his work ethic and the image. You know what I mean? Like, cause he does it 100%. Where he presents the boss image and he does it fully. You know what I mean? And that's I find that interesting. You know what I mean? So it's sad, but it's hard to say who's a favorite rapper lyrically now, because nobody's really being lyrical. And it's not even really their fault, because the game will change you from being lyrical, because being too lyrical is not really hot right now. A lot of hit rate songs on the radio aren't lyrical. You know what I mean? They're more of catchy beats and catchy jingles. You know what I mean? Like a catchy hook and a catchy beat. But you don't really have to be too lyrical. Actually, if you can rap too good, you're not gonna win. You know what I mean? You have to not rap so good. That's crazy, right?
Right.
You have to not rap so good. Like you gotta dumb it down, like my man said. So that makes me question, like, damn, do I want to dumb it down just to fit in this game, or is this a test? Sometimes I feel like a test.
Real,
like,
dog. Keep being yourself, man.
No doubt, thank you.
Real, man. I
feel like
we need that, man.
No doubt, no doubt.
I mean,
bro.
I work for the library. I've been here like 12 years.
No doubt.
We need that. Y'all two need to do a symphony for Philly.
No doubt.
Remember the symphony back in the day? But everybody, y'all need to
the Juice Crew joint.
Exactly. Do it, man.
That's always been on my favorite drinks too. We can put that together. But I appreciate you saying that, man.
I know Jim. I know him for he always been like that, a smooth, quiet dude.
Right,
man.
no doubt, no doubt.
You know? I seen you around a couple times at a couple different joints, man. You know what I mean? You keep it real. You like that.
I appreciate that, man.
Don't switch it up on us, man.
Nah, we ain't gonna switch it up. But just as an artist, you start to question. What you want to do in this game. You know what I mean? Do you want to be like an underground artist that don't really make it to that certain peak, but still keep the credibility from the fans? Or you can shake the dice and just go ahead and just make a bubblegum song, and your fans will hate you after that. Yeah. But you might blow from that one time.
The one hit wonders.
I've seen it. You know, you see them all the time. They make that one joint, and it feel like it's like they sold their soul. So honestly, I really don't feel as though it's worth it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not comfortable, but I'm still I'm happy with what I'm blessed with. You know what I mean? Because I come crazy far from where I was at, and with my peers that been around me that didn't make it, I was like, it was amazing to everybody from my neighborhood to my family to my friends around me that we made it. Like, you know what I mean? So that allows me to think like, yo, crack, just be you. Don't even worry about the industry. You know what I mean? But I can talk to y'all all day. I don't want to hog the mic, yo. This P Crack. Log on to
Crackmusic.com.
Crackmusic.com. And we on Twitter at The Real PD Crack. I knew that one. Yo, I let my manager handle that, man. I just need to rap and write and sharpen, you know, keep the craft sharp. We don't want to flood my brain with too much political stuff. All right, but yo, good luck and I appreciate you, Sonya. Pass it to my man.
Thank you.
First, I want to thank Sonya for having me be a part of this panel, because I'm like a green to this panel. Shelly, I was just telling her, I tell everybody that my start was with Urban Expressions in 01, so I definitely thank her for everything that she's done, even with just allowing me to do promotions with her and stuff, which brought me to the point where I'm at with my event marketing promotions company, ImFreeMedia.com. But prior to ImFreeMedia being developed, I always put together events for the local talent here in the Philadelphia area, because just like PD's been doing it, he's saying how as an artist he has to be a certain way and he has to develop himself being an artist. I try and do that for the artists here in the city of Philadelphia. I'm more doing on the R&B circuit, but I mean, music is music, and learning how to develop yourself is everything, you know what I mean? So as an artist, if you're a rapper, you know, singer, dancer, you still have to develop yourself. So I strive to like help those artists who need the direction to be better artists. I host a show that's called Hidden Soul Wednesdays, where it's open mic and it's open to anybody, hip hop too, but you know, a lot of R&B artists do attend. Last year, and it's so crazy because me and Sonya been friends since 01, and last year we just was on the phone and I was like, yo, we don't have no real like tribute type of events for these local artists, and I said, I'm gonna put together a show and I'm gonna do it, and she said, I'm gonna help you. I said, cool, so who we gonna get? And then I met the lovely Deanna Williams, who's one of the co-founders of Black Music Month, who I just look up to, and I tell her that all the time, but I said, yo, let's honor her, let's make people aware of what's going on with Black Music Month, and a lot of people don't realize that it's founded here in the city of Philadelphia, and people just take it for granted and think everything is somewhere else, you know, founded, started somewhere else, but it started right here. So I like to educate people on the fact that it's history, more history added to what Philadelphia is about, you know, just us doing every day-to-day stuff with Black music, and it's right here in our backyard. You know, Kenny Gamble, Shaka Todd took it to Congress and got it approved. So a lot of people don't even know that. So January the 1st, I took a stand to be an advocate for Black Music Month, and I have an event called The Comeback, which is June the 24th. It's going to be at Freedom Theater, and I want to make it annual where we are definitely honoring people who have done things. Last year we did like a small Roots tribute, you know what I mean, and like she hosted it. She said, I never seen nobody pay a tribute to the Roots, you know what I mean. It was a little small thing, but it was just, we still touch on hip-hop with that event and R&B, and just keep it alive, just keep the legends of music here in the city of Philadelphia alive with this annual event. So I look for it to grow, I look for it to move to different cities, but I just look for Philly to support it. And you know, I'm looking for this panel that's right here to come out and, you know, June the 24th, and you know, support, sit in the audience and cheer on these upcoming artists that are trying to make it and be at the levels of where, you know, the people that are looking at them are. So, you know, but I thank Sonya again for letting me be a part of this great panel, and I'm gonna pass it to Shelly Show. Put your X's up. That would never get old.
Hello, everybody. I am Shelly Williams, executive producer of Urban Expressions. Urban Expressions started out on Channel 48. It was on 48 for 11 years, so we're most known for being on Channel 48. But currently, we are the only English show on Telemundo. We come on every Saturday at 1:30, and we come on Comcast Channel 66 Wednesdays at 10:30. Urban Expressions is still alive, still doing our things. We're like in a reinvention type of thing, where we continue to stay consistent with what we do. We do an artist showcase called Philly's Got Talent. It goes on every Wednesday at 5th and Burks at Club Mambo. And I love old school is my thing right now, because I truly love old school. And coming back to this panel, I have true love for each and every person up here. We have history. This whole table is so much history and so much love. Like we really have been doing a lot of things throughout the years. I.C.H, PD, Ike, you know, Isaacs, I know, when he was Isaac to me. So anyway, so I love each and every one of you. I believe in supporting Philly. So many people have told me to leave Philadelphia. I'd probably be more successful outside of Philadelphia, but I believe in where I come from. I believe in the Philly artists. I believe in what we do, and I believe that there's success and money out there for each and every one of us. So no need to be crabs in a barrel. We can all get it, and we can work together to get it because there's enough money out here. There's no real recession. There's money here. You see it being spent every day. So let's all get it. So I appreciate everybody who believes in Philadelphia hip-hop, believes in hip-hop in general, and believes in each and every person up here so we can all do it together. And don't forget, Philly's Got Talent, Fifth and Burt. So not just, I think people who love hip-hop come out and support the local talent. They may not have gotten a deal, but they are good enough to have a deal. They just haven't gotten discovered to get that $1 million deal, but they are good enough, so come check them out, check out the talent, check out. We all started somewhere. You said you managed Oskino Sparks. They started somewhere. They started with I.C.H. back in the day. They was on Urban Expressions consistently every week because Jimmy supported us. Petey Crack was on Urban Expressions consistently all the time, everywhere. You know me, it's all about, it's not about me. Urban Expressions is not for me. It's not about me. It's about everybody else. Everybody else making their dreams come true, getting their shine on Urban Expressions. It's TV, and it's reaching Philly, Jersey, Delaware. It's reaching everywhere. So it's for everybody. And I, like I said, I appreciate Philadelphia. I appreciate Philadelphia hip hop, and I love old school.
So Shelly, you touched on like support. So, and you've been doing this for 14 years, going strong, but 19 years. Look, see, I think 19 years. So so she talks about support, and it's just it's crazy, like the crabs in the barrel when it comes to Philadelphia. You go hard with supporting other people, and you find that. So that's definitely a struggle as a promoter, as an event planner. I'm sure as a book, an author, a magazine. You look for that support, but it's just it kind of like keeps you staggered because you're like, damn, you're not supporting me. But I find that just keep on doing what you do and just support. I mean, I go out to these open mics and stuff. They may not be what I think they should be, but I still support it, and I give my advice when needed, or whatever. But I just find, how do you feel about that? I find it to be difficult sometimes because you're showing your face and then you're like, yo, you gonna come to read my book or buy my magazine, and they don't. So I'm kind of like helping the discussion go along because I feel like everybody's just saying what they do, but I want to hear what you think about, support. Because I mean, Shelly supported me with gas money when I used to drum. I used to be like, Shelly, like we used to go to Ian Airy, yeah, and with the kids and the party. Shelly started at Ian Airy when they all that pop locking and all that stuff. It used to be like 300 kids with something to do. Yeah, and it's something to do. So I support, like Shelly really like got these kids together and said, look, come to this one centralized place, stay out of trouble, and come and party, which I do after the party, which I do, but they follow suit because Shelly was like the mom to 300, 900 kids.
And everybody think Rockstar P is my son. I have no kids, none. I'm still waiting. But anyway, with support, support goes a long way. Sometimes, I appreciate believe it or not, everybody here has supported. So when people say nobody has supported, please don't believe it, because each and every person has supported each other. It's hard to support everybody's vision because you will be loaded up in gas money and never have a dime to get anywhere else if you go to everybody's event. But I think if it's in your heart to support, you will. As far as Jimmy's book, it's funny. I didn't actually, the book, he gave me a book. My niece read it in a day. That's how awesome his book is. There's no lie to it. Everybody really seriously has talent. So that's support. Go read his book. Go buy a PD album when it comes out. Matter of fact, tonight, he is performing at Takoni Billiards. So support him tonight, because he definitely is doing it. Him and Beanie, Takoni. So stop getting on the list. You can't get on the list. There's no list. Go pay. There's no list. And the tickets are sold out, because you know what? Philly does support. Don't get it twisted. Somebody's out there supporting, because this event is sold out. I don't even know if I have a ticket, but I'm sure I do. But anyway. But
Shelly knows she ain't gonna go anywhere.
It's not that I don't go anymore. It's just that who I am now. honestly, I gave my life to God, and I really don't do a lot of that anymore. So I mean, but I also go out to support because I actually want to see you perform. I actually want to see Beanie perform. It's not there. See, I just lazy.
Shelly's gonna send her cameraman out. That's what she said, right? She's like, I'm sending somebody out there. She don't want to hear me say que lindo man. She gonna see the footage. You know what I mean? But yeah, hell yeah, of course. And we all grew up, and I gotta say that I appreciate you and people like Keith from Up the Block and from Young Boy Rockstar P, because all over Philadelphia, even in the jails, and that urban expression is a major thing in the jails. Not that it's of any importance to anybody, but when you're in there, that's all you got. Is very serious that we watch that, yo, every week. We was glued to that TV watching urban expressions. Right, and then when you ain't had no cable back in the day, urban expressions.
Yes.
Yo, when it wasn't no what's that, MTV Jams and all that, urban expressions, man. It was nah, but we love you though, Shell. Hey, I just want to thank Sonya for having me here. I got a role because we shooting a video. Is this kid named Porn from the Roots. Actually, he's from the Jam Boys, which is a group that's formed by Black Thought out of the Roots. So I did a song called Rock With Me with him. And we got a video shoot at 12 o'clock. So
okay.
I got a boogie.
Thank you so much for coming out. Really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule.
Not a problem at all. So.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, and I'll definitely be in touch with you. And Jimmy, I know you also have something going on. Go ahead, tell the cameras and let them know.
I'm on my way to Gerard College. My artist is performing to Stop the Violence show down there. I also got to be there by 12:30. So doing what I'm doing. I get a lot of support. Thanks, Song.
You're very welcome.
Thanks everybody for coming out.
Yes.